So some of the quotes that have come back saying it's nice to see a film with a proper leading man, but this actually has two leading men, and also that it's two James Bond films put into one. Can you kind of go along with that vibe? Can you see what they're saying? Because there's stunts, there's a bit of sense of humour.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, absolutely. But a lot of this stuff is drawn from the original Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV series anyway, which, if I'm not mistaken, was actually written by the same guy.
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's been a lot of fun doing this movie and not having to carry the entire weight. We actually get to share the weight between us, and it's...
And the lovely actresses, and of course Guy Ritchie's style, which, you know, is 50% of what makes this movie as good as what it is.
Well, I can see that on screen, but what's he like off screen when he's actually working with you? Because I can imagine he's quite demanding because he knows what he wants, and it's quite physical for you two.
He's not demanding at all. It doesn't come across that way. He knows what he wants, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And he will be collaborative and work with us to work out how the character can best evolve into a real thing. Because what's in his head and what's on the page and what's in our head are all slightly different things. And so they've got to work together to create what is essentially a real person.
And he's flexible too. It's like, you know, he has an idea of what he wants, and he has a very specific sense of what's cool and what's funny and all that, because he's got those sensibilities. You can see it in his entire sort of filmography. But if you show up and you do something new, he'll go, well, I didn't really think of that. That's not bad. Okay, let's keep that.
Really?
You know, so he's open. It's very collaborative. The whole
And there
process.
is quite a few double entendres in there where you get to have a little laugh. Did you try those out and try different ones, or, you know, was it right? This is definitely the line that's going to get used.
There was definitely a couple of times where you said something and Guy would walk in and say, "No, that's terrible," in less polite language, and say, "Never say that again."
Really?
And then you would feel slightly embarrassed, and then try something new. But then he'd come in laughing and say, "It's perfect."
Right.
And so, yeah,
But that's a trust thing, I suppose. You can kind of
Absolutely,
trust
yeah.
you and you can try it out.
Yeah, we trusted Guy implicitly. And,
Everybody keeps talking about the opening scene, and there's a bathroom scene where there's a big fight, and the two of you don't like each other. Was that quite a demanding thing to do, or did you film that at the end once you were already into it?
Where was that? That was
early on, yeah, like right when we went into stages, I think.
Is that something that's easy? Is it like learning a dance routine? Are you good at learning those kind of routines?
Well, with normal fight scenes, it is like learning a dance routine, and then with this one in particular, the stuff wasn't working properly. The set was supposed to break in certain ways, and it didn't. And we were sliding around all over the floor and scrabbling, trying to keep the choreography going. And Guy just came in clapping and laughing, saying, "It's great, it's great." We went, "Yeah, but this didn't work, that didn't work." It's like, yeah, that's what happens in fights.
Yeah.
They don't happen perfectly, and this isn't some kung fu movie.
Yeah.
I want this to be, you're not going to be too cool.
Yeah.
And so it actually made it easier, where we just kind of winged it all the way through the fight, and then the final piece was the most important bit, which we had to get right. And that we did.
And the driving the car onto the boat that then sank, and the funny little bit with having a little drink, was that a tough thing to do, or was that something that was like, oh, this is a breeze in the park for me?
It wasn't necessarily tough. I remember when I'm having the drink, just before I drive the truck off, it was winter in Canary Wharf, and I was soaking wet, so that was a little cold.
Yeah.
But the boat, the underwater stuff was all done in the tank at Leavesden.
Right.
And that was actually quite good fun. I mean, it's quite tricky to begin with, because we had some snagging issues.
Now, having not seen the film, it's already set up apparently for the next one. Are you all signed up and ready to do it? Can you tell us anything about what's going to happen?
I mean, we don't know what the plans are yet. I think typically with these kind of movies, which have the potential for franchise, they're going to see how the first movie does in the cinema, and then if it does well, then they'll set up a second movie or a third.
And would you be up for it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.